welcome to a special edition of my POA podcast, Black Hand and Beyond. This is episode 28, and I have some very special guests here and a lot of pictures to go through tonight, so we're going to be talking kind of fast, but here's our special guest. Wave, everybody. So there's Jan in the middle and her husband Brian on the end over there. How long have you guys been together? Put you on the spot.
39 years.
Oh, see, Brian, we've been rehearsing.
Oh, so, I've been schooled.
So, and of course, we're going to be talking to Jan a lot. Jan did a lot of the showing, and of course, Jan grew up in POAs. Her and her brother Pat grew up showing all the great Caddos. So it's about the Jones family tonight, and Jan Jones Nolan, and like I say, her husband Brian Nolan's here. And of course, Jan's family, Art and Rocky Jones, are both legendary POA people. What's Rocky's real name? Carrie May.
Carrie May Tyner.
Carrie May Tyner, okay. And then she married Art Jones, and we're going to talk about their history a little bit outside of POA, you know, just their heritage and stuff. Art was very proud of his history. So we're going to start going through the pictures. And first tonight, we're sponsored by Jackson's of Enid, Jackson's Auto Family. Shane's been in here about 3 times helping us out. He even left the dealership and came back. And so he always sponsors us and helps us. He's the general manager and owner here of the place. And then we've had some sad news this week. We've had a couple different passings this week. Let me see. I got to get the pictures to go. There we go. So Wayne Latch, of course, passed away earlier this week. Again, Wayne grew up in POAs. His mom and dad was very active in POAs, early members in Iowa. They were among that first group of people that started raising POAs. And Helen was very active. And then Wayne stayed in POAs, and him and his wife Judy raised a lot of great POAs, and their kids showed and won a lot of titles and stuff. So that's a big a loss. And our sympathies go out to the Latch family. And then also this past week, famous POA legendary stallion, Doc's Rough and Tough, passed away. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Damon family. He was an older stallion. He was 32 years old, but they had him since he was a baby. He's always been near and dear to my heart because Doc Nemmers came up to our place in Minnesota and looked at Kiddo Tough when he was just a yearling, decided to breed some mares to him, so he leased him as a 2-year-old, took a chance on an unknown 2-year-old, and Rough and Tough was his first foal in Iowa, or Wisconsin actually. Doc's brand new place in Hazel Green there. Rough and Tough was one of his first foals on that new place that him and Ruth Ann built. And of course, Dean bought him as a weanling, made him a grand champion as a yearling in 90 and again in 91. And then he went on to have a great siren career. So 32-year-old stallion, they called him Bud or Buddy, I believe, and he passed away this week. So we always want to honor people in POAs that's done great things. So, and that's what we're doing tonight. We're honoring the Jones family. So Jan, let's get you on screen again here. Tell me a little bit about your dad, you know, growing up, him when he was growing up, and his history a little bit, and before POAs, just his heritage.
Well, he was a Native American, Caddo tribe, although come to find out when he was deceased, he was on the Kiowa rolls instead of the Caddo rolls. So, long story.
Okay.
But anyway, his family moved back and forth from Yale to Hominy. His dad was a rough-necker, worked in Oklahoma for a long time. Then he rough-necked in Brazil. We believe that we might have a few family members in Brazil.
Okay.
So that was kind of his background as a youth. Then he went off into the Navy. He met my mom in a Navy hospital. And also along with Mary Winters, which is David and Sandy Spencer's mom. They were best friends in nursing school, and they were fast and fabulous friends, dating and being together a lot. And then the Spencer's father died, and they started coming around, showing horses with us. Dave and Sandy are like my brother and sister also.
Right.
They're part of our extended family, extended horse family.
Okay.
So that's kind of the way I seem to be the chosen Auntie Jan of Rosalind's children.
Right. Okay.
So that's kind of how my mom and my dad, and then we got with the Spencers, and so they're like our little family network.
Right. I know you guys are very close. You've told me that before. If you had to
And then-
have your daughter picked up or something, you could call Dave and, bang. You
Yeah.
didn't have to worry.
Yeah, and I did one time.
Right. Love you, Auntie. Do you see that there in the comments? I don't know if you can see that on
can't
your
see the
screen. It
comments.
says love you, Auntie Jan. So everyone that's watching, kind of chime in a little bit and say you're here. We've only had one comment and 2 thumbs up, so I guess we're live. That's good because we got a good show going already. So we're going to scroll through some of these pictures. Jan, you can kind of just talk as we're scrolling through.
Okay,
If
we'll
we
do
went
that.
slow through these pictures, we'd be here till midnight. So
I tell you that we always talk about how the other breeds of horses, family, people are different than the POA family.
Right.
This is the Bridges family. Mr. and Mrs. Bridges would be Donna Bridges Wares, mom and dad.
Okay.
I believe they came over one Sunday afternoon just for a drive. They lived over at Stillwater.
Okay.
Drove 25 miles over to Pawnee on a Sunday afternoon, showing us their new car. So, Little Bridges, that's his original
Right.
family.
Right.
And
Donna
Donna
Bridges.
and my brother Pat were the same age, essentially.
Okay.
So we've got a lot of Donna Bridges Ware stories that
Right.
we could tell also.
So you have so many connections to
Yeah.
POA people,
See,
especially
I was the
Oklahoma.
little short person
Right.
who was 8.5 years younger than all the rest of them. So
Right.
I was kind of stealth.
Right.
And I could hear all the
You
things
could hear
that were
things
going
going
on.
Yeah.
And
That's
that
I
kind
was
of
kind of
thing.
that way as a kid too. I wasn't very stealth, but I just could listen and pick up on things.
Yeah.
Tommy Puffenbarger, of course, I was pretty close with the Puffenbargers, but he told me one time about 10 years ago, he said, I don't remember life without Jan Jones. He said she was not just my POA life. He said, as soon as I can remember, we were in POAs and she was always around.
Yeah.
So, that kind of puts it together.
We would go to different horse shows and they'd get all the Oklahoma people together in the evening and take a big picture of all the kids and families that were there.
Right.
And it seemed that Tommy and I were always left out.
Oh, wow.
Because we had already passed out from
Yeah.
playing so hard during the
Right.
day. We were all asleep in a station wagon somewhere, and they couldn't wake us up.
Right.
So, because we were the younger of
You're the younger.
whole herd.
So this is your dad here, real young, right?
This is my dad. They say it's about 4 years old.
Well, I bet he can't be much older than that.
He doesn't remember. He did not remember the horse, but his mother had this in a cedar chest and had saved it for many years.
Wow. And then he
for
grew
us.
up to be a
Yeah.
horseman and a
Yeah.
great pony breeder.
And
so.
then here he is, beginning my brother. That's my brother's first ride was
Okay.
Dad. And you notice the rope around his
Right.
chest so he wouldn't fall off.
Right.
And I don't know if you realize that Pat has a cape
I seen
on.
that. He's got
Yes.
a cape. So,
he's like Superman.
kind of horse,
rider.
Superman, rodeo, all
Yes.
kinds of stuff going on.
Yes,
So,
yes.
And of course, Pat grew up to be a great showman. Showed a lot of your guys' homebred
Yes,
POAs.
he teamed up a lot with Doug Murfield and some of those other crazy people up
Right.
there in Iowa.
A bunch of those guys went to OSU, didn't they? Dave
Yes.
Spencer, Doug Murfeld, all the way from
Dave,
Iowa.
Doug, Brian, Pat, and they all went to OSU.
Right.
Here's my first costume class.
And that's your dad, right?
Yeah,
Leading you
that's
to
my
that?
dad.
That's a special
It's
picture.
supposed to be somewhere in, where is it, Brian?
Alva?
Alva, Oklahoma.
That's
It
right. It's in
says
Alva,
It's a
yeah.
horse show.
Which is 70 miles from where we are tonight.
Right,
So, yeah.
and then there's another. We showed the very same costume in Oklahoma City that year. The international was in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
They got Dad a tuxedo.
Oh, wow.
Rented Dad a tuxedo, and somewhere I've got that picture, but I couldn't find it. And this
Okay.
is Oklahoma Twister.
Oklahoma Twister.
Oklahoma
Okay.
Twister that I'm riding, and that was never expected to be Jan's horse because
Right.
he went too fast.
Okay. He looked like an early, maybe a little bit of a, who knows, a lot of white on him and stuff.
Yes, and he had both front legs coming out of the same hole, is what Dad would say.
Right.
But he was frickin' fast.
Well,
Yeah, he was really fast.
Right.
Pat competed against Cindy's Fury,
okay.
and this horse were around the same time, and they just back and forth, first, second, first, second.
Cindy's Fury,
Yeah.
the Jeffers, right? Had him or
The Jeffries ended
Jeffries.
up with him, and Cindy Subtle
had him first.
had
yeah.
him first, and that's
Yeah.
who Cindy is. Pat is a little bit younger.
And
than
if
Pat.
you're newer to POAs, Cindy's Fury is one of the first famous gildings ever in POA. So I believe the first Supreme Champion gilding. So,
Cindy's Fury and I and my horse Caddo's Mr. Calico, we used to do. They used to have at the international pairs class,
match pairs,
and
yeah.
you would, dress in the same colors,
Right.
have the same color tack, trot,
Right.
walk, lope.
And you guys were in that together?
We were in that like
That's
2
cool.
or 3 years
Right.
in a row.
That's
His
cool.
mom, Darla Jeffries, would dress us alike, and we never won it, but we were really second and third quite a bit of the time.
Right, right.
So it seems that the Denny girls seem to
Right.
beat
Well,
us most
well,
of the time.
showing against the Denny girls, that's like being in the same conference with the New England Patriots
Yes,
or something. You
yes,
know what I
that's
mean?
right.
It's,
This is a picture after we've gone to, I think we've been on a trail ride or a horse show or something. And I believe in the middle is David Spencer, and I think to the right is my brother Pat looking at the bottom of an empty cup.
okay.
And then that's me in the front,
That's you.
Yeah,
the
hogging the
only girl
picture.
in there, yeah.
as usual. And then
We
those
picked
are
it.
some of our other buddies.
Right. Now, I just want to say before you make a comment on this picture, some of these pictures are going to be out of place. It took us hours to get all these pictures together and on here. And thanks again to Brian and Jan to haul them over from their town over to Enid tonight and today. And they're actually spending the night here and stuff because this is a pretty big undertaking. So these are not going to be in chronological order. Some of them are. But we're gonna jump around a little bit, and we're gonna have, maybe a picture from the 70s, all of a sudden a picture from the 90s. So, but it's all gonna tell the same story. So, and I want to thank everybody that's live tonight watching this. It's gonna be a lot better watching it live. And so here we go. Go ahead and talk about this.
This
Jan.
is taken at Sedalia, Missouri at the International. This is my grandmother, Alice Jones. My grandmother's the one who got me into and encouraged me to do the Indian regalia,
Okay.
and she actually made my top. There's
Wow.
not a machine stitching in any of it.
Wow.
And then her mother made the skirt that I'm wearing, and it neither did have a stitch.
So
Hand-
your
it's all hand
great grandmother
stitched.
made the skirt.
Yes.
Wow.
And the blanket that's over the withers of the horse came from either Bolivia or Brazil or somewhere like that. My grandfather had brought it back to my grandmother.
Okay.
So we felt
Wow.
like that was, since those are Indian really too,
All right.
and we felt like that was part of the
That's
the
a cool picture.
native
Just-
regalia also.
We could talk about this picture for 20 minutes, just a lot of history there.
Yeah.
And I know people are loving this history. So
There's
here you
Olin.
are with Olin Ziegler, a famous POA Hall of Famer, was the president probably at the time that this was taken. That's why he's giving you an award. Do you
I
remember
think
what
it's an
that
award-
award?
I think it's a Supreme Champion Award for Caddo's Mr. Calico.
Okay, could be.
And
You look pretty happy. You're a teenager there, huh?
I think I'm past teenager.
Are you?
I think I graduated high school.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're not in high school. You're really.
You're really, you
Yeah.
thought you were
Older.
all grown up.
I'm
yeah.
older, yeah.
And here's a more modern picture, but it goes back to the family because that's your brother Pat.
Yeah.
And this was taken, what, in a Congress probably?
No, this was actually taken in Tennessee about 2 years ago
Okay.
at a Yida show.
Oh, really?
I followed Mary Michelle Palmentary and Devin Palmentary down there.
Okay.
And we got to meet some of the family, Pat's family down there on the Phillips side. And he came down, drove over from the day. He lives
Okay.
over in Sparta, Tennessee.
Okay.
And we were in, it's Middle Tennessee State
Okay.
is where we're at. I can't
All
remember
right.
the name of the town, but that's where we were at. And
So Pat grew up in Oklahoma just like you did, but
Yes.
he ended up moving to Tennessee. Now he married a POA girl, right?
yes,
And-
he married Kathy Phillips,
Kathy
Kurt Judy Phillips.
Right, from
and-
Ohio?
From Ohio.
Okay.
They've all since moved to
And they're all in Tennessee.
their
Kurt
greater
and
state
Judy.
of Tennessee.
Right.
Yeah, they live in the mountains,
Okay.
live
Yeah.
up on a hill.
I was at Phillips's place when we picked up Speculation. Would have been in '86 in Xenia,
Yeah.
Ohio. I couldn't even spell Xenia, but that was cool. So now they've been in Tennessee a while, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's your good friend
Yeah,
David
This is David.
with
David,
Caddo's Princess.
Caddo's Princess.
Yeah.
This was quite a mare. David had her for a short period of time, took her to the international, and I don't know how they did, but that was quite a mare. She performed.
And who would know, he'd end up the father to three great daughters, three great kids. They're all really successful, hugely successful in life, and all great POA showers. And Dave, in their program, Spencer Livestock's one of the best going.
Definitely.
Yeah, and they have a lot of Caddos to this day. It didn't stop with Caddo's Princess. As we're going to see towards the end of the show, there's still a strong connection between the Jones and the Spencer family.
David came and took one of our stallion, Caddo's Major Jim, when Mom was about 75 and she was still hand breeding him. And David and I made a decision for her.
Right, better move him down.
Yeah, that David needed him. He had more mares to breed.
So he was in
into.
Chickasha for quite a few years, wasn't he, Major Jim? Yeah.
Yes, he was there till
I think
he died.
they still have some fillies related to or mares.
Yes, they have several mares that are related.
I know
to
a
him.
lot of their futurity champions we're going to talk about later are connected.
Well, this is Brian Cannon that you're seeing on the picture now, and that's Caddo Princess. Later
after Dave graduated out. We got to remember back in those days too, when you graduated out, you kind of left. You went to college or moved on, and you moved away from the horse farm or whatever, and you weren't that involved with it. Today, it's kind of more of an extended family with the 19 and over and all the training programs. And now the adult classes, you don't have to graduate out. So
it's really kind of super cool because some of the kids that I saw as babies, they're now have their own training farms, and as you know, Ashley.
Ashley
Mackenzie, she is one of my kids also.
There's another connection. Yep, they had Caddos for
her
sure.
Her mother gave her to me a couple of times. She stayed with us for some extended periods of time.
I have to have Ashley back as a guest because she was my very first guest, and basically she was a co-host. If she lived closer, she'd be a co-host.
I still have glitter on my dining room table from when she was 9.
You hear that, Ashley? Really nice dining room table.
Horse blankets out of brown paper sacks for about 20 Breyer horses that she brought with her to stay with us.
Oh, that's a cool story. That's worth the show right there.
Yeah.
So, Ashley, I'm close to Ashley. I like her a lot. So, and she's done a lot for POAs. Her and her mother. Look at how many people they've pulled into POAs. If we don't have people like that, we need breeders, families, and trainers, of course, and promoters. And they're the promoters and the people that do the behind the scenes work and with their stables and stuff. So, okay, who's all in this Oklahoma
picture?
My
brother Pat.
Okay.
I believe this is Alan. Let's see, Alan Murfield.
That is Alan, yeah.
Alan and Ed Murfield.
Right.
And then there's my mom. And of course, she has her jacket with all the POA patches on it. There was a period of time that POA sold all these little patches.
Right. Now you'd call that swag, but back then,
exactly. And then of course the skinny one on the right is Dave Spencer.
That's Dave, yeah.
Yeah. So he and Pat flew up to Syracuse, New York.
Oh, okay.
So that Pat and Doug Murfield were showing the mare and foal.
Oh, okay.
And in the weanling foal.
That would have been in the 70s, the early 70s.
Of which, of course, they won the mare and foal.
Right.
And won the weanling colt class.
We're going to see pictures of that too coming up. So
this is one of our first stallions that we stood. His name was just Caddo.
Just Caddo.
That was it.
Caddo.
That was his whole name. He's a Serie bred.
He looks like
there were some of those fabulous Serie bred horses, and that's what Dad wanted. He loved them.
Right.
He really never matched with some of our horses. He was later gilded and became one of the most fabulous 4-H performing horses.
He looks ahead of his time in build, and you can tell he's a Serie horse. But I know he didn't make a big imprint on your folks' program, but this is a great picture of your dad, and it's a colored photo, with the yellow doors, and he's a good-looking stallion for back in the day.
And the sweetest guy ever.
Sometimes it just doesn't work, you know what I mean?
We're in Ventura, California.
Okay.
This is the senorita I am. And of course, Caddo's Mr. Calico has pants, a shirt, and a great big bow tie and a hat that we made. This is back in the day. Now, I will tell you that I had mono.
Okay.
During this Ventura International. We found out on a Thursday. We left on Friday. I missed the whole Grand Canyon because I was asleep.
Oh, wow.
But my friends, Sandy Salisbury, Jim, They would get on Calico, warm him up for me to go into a class, and then they just like seat me on the horse. I'd go and ride the class, and they
wouldn't
take
let
me off.
You said your mom wouldn't let you ride any more than that, right? Just
that
in
was
the
it.
class. Yeah.
Yeah, she was worried about my spleen.
Right.
And of course, here's my other costume protege. This is Miss Abby Nicole Nolan. And this is on one of our horses, Caddo's Poggum,
Okay.
of which Poggum, we had borrowed Poggum from Casey
Brandon?
Brandride up in South Dakota.
Okay.
She let us borrow him for the summer. Bree Shillingford rode him that international, and Abby rode him
Okay.
in costume.
So Abby's your daughter.
Abby's my daughter.
Yeah. Because everything's so close here, I want to make sure people know that. Which
Now-
90% of the people watching will know that. So.
I will tell you, this is a hand-me-down costume.
Okay.
I believe either Rosalind Spencer or Blaine Spencer
Okay.
wore this costume, but you know, I couldn't measure up to Corilla DeVille
With
Spencer,
yeah, right.
who AKA Dave
Yeah,
Corilla DeVille.
Dave was Corilla DeVille. Yeah,
Right.
we needed a picture of that on
Yeah,
here.
we
Somebody can,
should've.
one of the girls can post that or something.
Yeah.
So here's a mare that really doesn't get enough credit in the POA breed. She's one. A lot of people want to talk about the great producers of the breeds because the stallions get so much credit. Say this mare's name for us.
Caddo's Cajun Lady.
Okay, and she's the mother of 5 or 6 Supreme Champions.
6 Supreme
Yeah,
Champions.
and that's unheard of.
And then
and-
there's a couple of grandchildren
Right,
of hers
that are-
are
Right.
Supremes.
And Jeanette Aaron's out in Colorado. This mare was kind of the cornerstone. You know, a lot of her mares were out of this mare. Yeah. And the JAs, there's a lot of great JAs out there that are related to this mare.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah. Here's one.
Here's
this
her
is
first foal.
First foal.
His name's Caddo's Cajun Chico. We called him Cece.
Okay.
And he was a snow cat.
All right.
And unfortunately, as a 2-year-old, we lost him to
Okay.
blister beetle poisoning.
Oh wow. And he was a national champion already. He's
he
one of
was.
them, the mare and foal, right?
He won mare and foal,
Yeah.
one yearling, and he won
not
2-year-old
him,
that
but-
year. And he was reserve grand champion stallion as
Okay.
a 2-year-old.
I was looking to see if there was. He's in this picture.
Yes, that's him on the left.
Yeah.
Caddo's Cajun Chico's on the left. The center is Caddo's Streaker. And then Stucky, that's the gentleman's name on the
Stucky.
right.
Okay.
I believe he's from Kansas.
Okay.
And those are all Chico.
S Junior.
Yes.
And
there
there
you
he
go.
is with
Chico
Kevin
S. Jr.
Jewell. He was just down the road from here with the Salisburys. They
Yeah.
made him a famous stallion, and of course Kevin grew up in Iowa, him and his brother Chris, but then he went and became a trainer, and he trained some POAs, and he worked
Trainer,
for them.
horseshoer,
Yeah, he's
bullshitter.
I ain't
Yeah.
gonna say that, but
Yeah. He was quite a character.
Yeah.
He is quite a character.
yeah,
Still
he's a
is.
generation. You know, him and Julian Nemers and all those guys. They're running about my brother's age. You know, about 10, 11 years older than me. And so I
they
didn't
were
know
honored.
them very well. Yeah, it was a kinder, gentler time when I came up. So let's see. I might have skipped a little. Okay, so there's Streaker.
This is Streaker B.
Yeah.
Streaker, I don't know if we've got the other kiddo. Oh, here's Streaker B as a weanling.
Okay.
He also won his class, I believe, at the International. Here
And
we
there-
won mare and foal again the next
Again,
year.
yeah. So that mare not only became a great producer, she was a national champion.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was a high point 50, and that's the 50 and under mare
Okay.
category.
Wow. That's a lot of mare.
She was high point mare.
Right.
We were competing, I believe, against the Texas folks with a small mare. Can't think of her
Okay.
name right. Yeah.
Might have been TW. Well, maybe not. But here's another great mare, your guys', right?
Yes, this is Cotton,
Miss King Cotton.
Miss King
Miss
Cotton.
King Cotton, yeah.
Thank you, Miss King Cotton.
Yeah.
And she was back then what we considered a large mare.
Right.
I mean, she was 54 and she pushed every inch of that 54.
Right.
She was 54 high and 54 wide.
She had a typey head and neck, though,
Yeah.
for back then. Yeah.
Yeah,
really.
she did.
And she's in a lot of pedigrees, right?
Yes.
Miss King Cotton, yeah.
And then here's Caddo's Cajun Lady again. She
Okay.
started her career as a lead
Lead
liner pony. This little girl's Heather Scott.
Okay. And that's you, right?
And that's me. Yes, we had the identical
Oh, I had
you
a
know,
match, yeah.
outfits.
Yeah.
Had to match.
Right. Here
And
we're
there's-
jumping up a little bit.
Yeah, this is Caddo's El Cajun. This is another lady baby.
Okay.
Caddo's Cajun lady baby.
And this would tie things together with the Murfelds because his sire was MP's impressor, who was a
That.
full brother to MP's speculator.
Yes, he's
So-
one of the first ones out of there.
Yeah, that would have been in the 80s, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Now here's the Caddo's Cajun Delight with Janae Aarons.
okay.
Janae supremed her right off the bat. Had a great career with her.
Right. And they ended up having many of Caddo's mares, you know, and,
Yes,
and they all did
she
well for
ended
him.
up after Janae aged out, she became a broodmare.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right.
same.
Same.
Here's the big collection of Oklahoma kids at a banquet. There's a lot of folks in there you might recognize. There's some Crane boys in there.
I hope there's some people watching that are
There's
in this
some
picture.
Eckroats in there.
Eckroats, yeah.
Yeah.
They grew up just down the road
Salisbury.
20
Yeah,
miles from
Salisbury's.
here in Hennessy.
Maxwell's.
Salisbury, I
There's
see
a
Sandy.
Burger in the back row.
Is there a puffin burger in the back row? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
that's
sure is.
that's a fun. Probably, I always say the name wrong, but Jeffers or Jeffries.
Jeffries.
They're probably in there. Some of them. Yeah, a lot of great Oklahoma kids
Yeah.
over the years.
Sure were.
Yeah.
And this is a wonderful picture. This is Caddo's Mr. Calico. He was in his late 20s at this time,
Okay.
but he was still a great kid's pony. This is Miss Rosalind Spencer mounted up on top, being a lead line at this point by her little sister,
Okay.
Miss Blaine Spencer Arthur.
Okay.
So this is one of my favorite pictures.
We won't say how old these girls are now, but they're they're in their careers right now in adulthood, and this is a great picture. I love this picture.
It is.
So, and this is one of the horses you rode, right? A lot.
Yes, this
You
is
showed
the
me.
horse I rode all through the years. That
All
I-
through the
I rode.
years, yeah.
And he's a supreme champion.
Yeah.
too.
And one thing that keeps resonating with these pictures is, and we didn't plan it this way, but it comes full circle. You know what I mean? And we're going to see these girls as ladies in pictures showing babies, and related to your stuff, and it's just cool. It's just a lot of cool history. So
Well, and of course you can see I liked costume.
you like costume,
I
yeah,
did.
you did, and you.
I will tell you that this was my mother's bedspread off of her bed. It was hot pink.
I wish this was in color.
I do too.
Yeah.
But I would stand up on his back as he walked around the arena. And this, we did have to trot in costume.
Oh wow, back then, yeah.
I didn't trot standing up. But I would stand up and I would twirl. I had 2 batons.
Oh wow.
And I twirled 2 batons.
Look at that cute smile.
Yeah.
You were having fun.
And I was having fun.
All right.
Fantastic.
There you are, almost the same age, about getting an award, probably.
I was a senior in high school.
Wow, you look a little. That's George Lalonde, right?
He's tall.
He was a tall man. Yeah.
He's tall.
Yeah.
This is-
77. That would have been. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Ventura, California again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won the POA scholarship.
Okay.
That's what he's presenting.
Okay. That's cool.
To me at this time.
Okay.
Oh, and
There's-
here's Marty Jewell
Yeah.
and Caddo Streaker.
Right.
They had Caddo Streaker and stood him for quite a few years till his death.
He became a supreme, right?
Yes, he's
Yeah.
a supreme.
Yeah.
Sure is. Oh, here's my brother in those beautiful plaid
Look at
pants
those
again.
pants. That's got to be 74
Yeah.
around there. Bud Campbell, all those guys. Max
Yeah.
Nevergo, they all had
Yeah.
pants like that.
Those
so.
Dalco pictures only cost $5 a piece.
Oh
too.
yeah, yeah.
That's
No,
right. And you have to look at that halter too. Look at that
yeah,
buck stitch.
look at that buck stitch. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a museum piece there.
Yeah.
We got a lot of museum quality
Yeah.
pictures tonight.
There we
so-
are lead lining again.
Okay,
This Miss Heather Scott.
okay.
Her I'm in costume
They're in
again.
costume again.
My brother decided that this mare had to go to the this is another international picture. He had her in training for about 60 days, and that's all. And then he decided I needed to get on her and show her in costume.
All right.
So I was the test dummy.
Is there a saddle under there, or are you bareback?
I think there's an English saddle in there.
Okay, because it looks like it's raised off the ground. You
Yeah,
can see a shadow
yeah.
a little bit.
Now
Well,
there's
this is modern here.
yeah, more modern here. This Abby Nolan and Caddo's Red Cloud.
Oh, okay.
He's a
He's a supreme champion.
he's a spring champion. He's a grandson of Miss King Cotton.
Okay.
Caddo's Feather is his mom. He is fabulous. He is still with us today. He's 26.
Five?
And he's
Abby's
still at your place
24.
today?
He is actually loaned out.
Okay.
We have several that are loaned out.
Right. That's good.
We'll tell you a story about we loan out now instead of
okay.
selling. Yeah.
Right. So did he keep his color? Did he brown
He
a little
looks
bit?
just like that.
Does he really?
He
That's
looks
cool.
just like that. Yeah. When he
Tracy
sheds
just
off-
said one of my favorite. I haven't been. We've been so engaged talking, and I'm not even showing us on screen. Brian's over here. Let's see Brian on the couch.
Nobody wants to see
There's
me.
Brian. Yeah, there's Brian, and there's Jan and I. Jan dressed up nice, and of course I'm always. My wife is here off camera. We're so late. She's closed up, and she's in
giving
here.
up on us, I
She
think.
made some snacks for us, of course, today, so that's good. But we'll go back to the screen. Let's see. I don't need to be in the corner. So, but yeah, there's comments, quite a few comments. Rosalind made a good comment about she loved that one of her favorite pictures, the one her and her sister was in. So, okay, we got hundreds to go through here, so we'll
All
keep
right.
going.
Well,
So-
this is the beginning of another generation before. This is Caddo's Feather's first baby, Caddo's Feather Cap, and that's spelled with a K-A-P-P for a very specific reason.
okay,
Karen Cap Vance
okay,
is our veterinarian, and we are having trouble getting Caddo's Feather in foal. She was 8 before she had her first baby.
okay,
Karen said, I guarantee you I can get her in foal.
right.
She was still
And my dad said,
good.
if you can get her in foal, I'll name the horse after you. So that's where the K-A-P-P came from.
Karen Cap Vance
Uh-huh.
DVM is watching. She
Yes.
just put Cap. So
Yeah.
Tracy said the reason I was looking kind of goofy is because Tracy said lost you, so I was making sure we're still live. Tracy, say if we're live. I don't know if we're live. Yeah, it's saying we're still live.
Okay.
You're watching it right there. Okay.
We're good.
So we lost the screen picture. So
The screen picture's not.
I don't know
It
why the
just went
screen left. Let's see. We'll get the screen back, everybody. We've had this equipment on so long today. There's
There
the
we go.
screen back. So hopefully we're good.
Okay, this is Detroit,
Uh-oh.
Michigan.
We're good. Let's go right there. Detroit,
go.
Michigan.
Oh, no,
That's not that one?
nope.
Well,
Go
you
back
were
one.
on the...
We can go on to that one. It's the same horse.
Okay, let's say
Yeah.
more. So
She's
you
a
were talking
yearling
about
there.
this one already, right?
Yeah,
Cap?
she was a yearling at this time.
Right.
Of course, you have to understand, she's out of a 48-inch mare.
Okay.
So she's not going to be big.
Okay.
She's out of Caddo's
Right.
Major Jim and Caddo's Feather.
Okay.
And this is her as a 7-year-old
Okay.
packing 4-month-old Abby Nolan around.
Who made history because I believe she was the youngest
Yes.
exhibitor ever
We're
at the
in
national
the
show.
alleyway between being outside in 112 and inside the Coliseum at Tulsa State Fairgrounds. And it is very warm outside, it's very cold inside. I will tell you
What?
also, the beautiful breastplate and papoose board were donated to us for that show
Right.
by Jeanette Aarons.
Jeanette
this,
Aarons?
This is part of Janae's Indian costume
Oh, wow.
that she
Graduated.
had. And then, of course, the dress, regalia, and ribbon work is mine. And Brian, as he went to put Abby on the papoose, said, "Oh my God, she's not going to fit in the papoose. What are we going to do?" Luckily, we had one of those carriers that he'd been carrying her around in all day.
Right.
He slung the carrier over the back of the papoose, and then we slung the Pendleton blanket in front of her and gave her a rattle and started walking, and she was happy as a clam
Oh, good.
the whole time.
Oh, good. And you were probably pretty tired. I mean, you'd
I
just
was
given birth 4 months before, right?
Oh, Abby's adopted, Ken.
Oh, she's adopted. I'm sorry.
I still haven't lost those 20 pounds
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah,
that
yeah.
pregnancy.
I'm sorry.
I still haven't.
I'm sorry.
Right. And
Well,
this
there she is, all grown up.
This is her all grown up. One of Abby's contributions to POAs, really believe, is marking up your horse. This one is for 4-H.
Look at that tail,
That
though.
rainbow tail, and that is all of his tail. There's no fake tail there.
Which one's this? Caddo?
This is Caddo's Echo Star.
Okay.
This is the one that started the I'm never going to sell a POA again, except unless they're a weanling.
Right.
We sold this horse when he was 4. We sold him to a gentleman out in California for his granddaughter. He went out
Okay.
to California, and he put them into a hunter jumper school,
Okay.
and
But then you
about
decided.
6 months later, I had to call him and say, I need to buy that horse back.
Oh.
Because my daughter was beside herself
Right.
and wanted him back desperately.
That's understandable.
So we made a family decision that she wouldn't get a new car, she would get a horse.
Wow, that's
so
dedication.
for about triple the money that he paid for them, we bought him back.
Wow.
He came back from California. He'd been on 40 acres of irrigated Bermuda, came back looking like an infoal mare,
Wow.
and she'd been off at a band contest and came into the barn. I made up some reason. She's like, oh my God, he's back. That's all she said. She could just say, oh my God, he's
He
back.
had a blanket and a hood. You couldn't see anything but his nose and from the knees down.
And she knew
recognized
exactly.
And she recognized him.
Yeah,
Well,
even though
that
he's
meant a
like-
lot to get him back.
Well,
That's
and
Hank.
we were standing there looking at him, and I told her, yes, Abby, they were so impressed with the work you've done with him that they were going to send him back and let you put another couple of months on him. And she just almost went to tears.
All right.
I said, no, I'm kidding. He's back.
He's back
He's
for
back.
good.
Okay, let's see.
Let's run
Our
on.
screen went. Our screen went on us again. Let's see.
What'd you do last time to get it back?
There we go.
There we go. Oh, Pat doesn't have on these private
Well,
pants,
he's got modern pants on there.
but,
So.
but that was younger.
Yeah.
He didn't have money to buy the plaid pants then. This is Darla Jeffries on the right. She's a Oklahoma. She's our president many times. And,
Okay. That's a nice Sooner, trophy
yeah,
there.
it's a little Sooner Schooner trophy.
Yeah, Schooner trophy.
Yeah, exactly. That's Caddo's Mr. Calico. I think is a 2-year-old.
This would have been early 70s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, something
All
like
right.
that. And there is, POAs are all about the kids and the dogs.
Right.
When I went to the sale, the Slexire and the sale there at Gordyville this year, we were happy to see people's horses, we were happy to see their kids, and we were happy to see their dogs
All
too.
right.
So Abby had always been quite a dog trainer along with a horse trainer. So that's Jack. And Jack's quite known throughout the Oklahoma and area
Right.
POA shows. He barked when this horse ran barrels or poles or whatever.
What he
Any other horse, he
wouldn't-
didn't bark.
he recognized that
He
horse.
knew that horse.
And
yes.
who's this? Which horse
That's
Red Cloud.
is it? Red Cloud.
Caddo's Red Cloud.
Okay. He's turned a little bit here so we see his spots a little more. So.
Yeah, and
You still have him, you said. Yeah.
yes, we still have
Okay.
him. There's
Oh, we're going back again.
Caddo's Cajun Lady.
Cajun Lady under
Yeah.
saddle.
Yeah.
So,
And this
Yeah.
is a little neighbor friend of ours,
okay.
and
That's
Tabby
in 78.
Roberts.
Okay, at the Tulsa State Fair.
Yeah.
POA's got a lot of great memories
Yeah.
there. Look at that flag.
Caddo's Mr. Calico, and that was my favorite event. Still
Okay.
is.
Flags and costume.
Flags and costume.
All right.
That's it. This is the horse actually that Ashley McKenzie, that's one of her first POAs, her second POA that they had, Caddo's Fascination.
Okay.
And
The leopard is, yeah.
the
Well, they're
leopard,
both
the-
leopard with the mare.
the mare,
Yeah.
right? And
We have a picture somewhere with Ashley on her. It
well,
might be
there's
a
the
while.
colt that came out of her.
Okay.
He had his fame as, his name is Y, the letter Y.
Okay.
We had Binger Y and Little Axe,
Okay.
AXE,
Okay.
that year.
He went a little over height.
He did go a little over height, but Wayne Spears,
61 inches.
yeah.
And he ended up being like a Wild West show,
He
right?
was in a Wild West show for almost 12 years.
Wow. And he's loud colored.
Loud colored till the day he died.
Right.
He has been on the floor of the Oklahoma State Senate.
Okay.
He walked up those stairs at the
Oh, really?
Capitol
Yeah.
himself. He also has been to Calgary. He,
What's the name of that guy? We got his card here.
Wayne Spears
Wayne Spears.
is
Okay.
Pawnee Bill.
Pawnee Bill.
Is
Yeah.
who he's
That's
they do a
his-
reenactment over in
Right.
Pawnee 2 weeks in June.
Right.
And here's some precious people in our family, part of our chosen family. Tori Patrick, was one of the first kiddos. This is Caddo's Angel.
Okay.
Again, she's a supreme champion also.
A famous POA, Caddo's Angel, yeah.
Exactly. And this is Tori's mom and dad, Trina and Charlie Patrick. This is the year that I got Mormon to donate sacks of feed
The feed company.
for each first place winner, and then their Grow Strong minerals.
Yeah, you see the natural
Yeah.
glow and the gross. That was a good sponsorship.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Tori came back this year only to show her in showmanship and I think equitation.
Okay.
And she got, I think, a 4th place.
And we'll have more pictures, Angel. Tracy just had a heart with Angel. A lot of people watching tonight will know Caddo's Angel. So here's that costume again. We seen it earlier.
we had to recycle it the next year.
Yeah, recycle it. So that's a good picture.
Yeah.
So
And then here
more
we go.
costume.
Now this is the pink cotton candy princess.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we were in Colorado one year at a fabulous world show and regional. Did fabulous. Abby, I believe, is 6 in this picture. And on the way from
The show going to errands.
going to errands, at 4:00 in the morning, we lost the box with the cotton candy princess in it. And
We found part of it over 20 miles.
Jay Aarons and Brian went down the highway picking up parts of the pink cotton candy princess and then spread them out all over the Aarons driveway.
Oh, wow.
And I thought my child was going to have a nervous breakdown.
Trying to figure it out. Yeah, get it together.
And that was the year we did this sequence of regionals.
Oh, okay.
And so our next regional was in
Interesting.
Kansas at the Mid-America Regional.
Okay.
But we had 2 days before it started. I had my sewing machine with me, fortunately.
Yeah.
And my friend Charlotte Shillingford and I, her daughter's Bree,
You're on camera now. So.
and she helped me. We went to Walmart. We brought some tiger print. Jeanette Aarons had sent us with a gold coat and this gold lame and some black netting and things like that. And we made her into Jasmine. So her costume, her horse became the tiger, and then we used a magic carpet, and then I was some sort of genie.
Wow.
So, but we did that all in 2 days.
You guys were thinking on your feet. Yeah.
We were having to. That's what POA parents
Right.
do, isn't it?
Right, for
Yeah.
sure. I have to go back to, I won't go back on the pictures, but we had a comment about why. They said he's owned by Bob Funk now in the Express. He has the Express hitches.
Right, and
And-
he has since passed away.
Oh, he's passed away?
Yes.
Okay. Whoever posted that, I don't know
Yeah.
who it was, but they didn't know
It's
he's
been
passed
recently.
away.
Yeah, he.
It's okay.
Yeah, Express.
That might have been Ashley or it's somebody in
Scott.
Oklahoma.
Well, the
It was Scott. Oh,
the
Scott.
Budweiser Clydesdales have a Dalmatian as a mascot,
Right.
and the Express Personnel Clydesdales, Y was their mascot.
Okay.
See spots and spots.
I seen them. They were up here for, remember, Monica? They were here at the rodeo.
Yeah.
Or the bull riding, not a rodeo in Enid, and I got to see the Express firsthand. So
Yeah.
that was Scott that said that, so that's good. Okay, this is more of a modern one. This is a JA. I believe this is.
Yeah.
Let's go back, but yeah, she won the small mare class with the Seahafers last year at the International. She's from Aarons, so Jeanette Aarons from
and
Colorado.
we're really trying to work on those small mares. We don't have enough.
We don't have enough small
and
POS.
medium horses
Right.
at all for kids.
Right, and the ones we are producing like her, she don't look like a small pony, she looks like a horse.
Yeah.
And so we're getting quality, we just need a lot more of
And
it.
we need our judges to look at our small horses.
Right, yeah.
I mean, they're placing the big ones above the small ones.
Well, that's happening in the Select Sire
Yeah.
Futurity so
Yeah.
often too,
Oh, yeah.
Yep, a lot
We'll
of times
We'll
height.
get up here and talk about Caddo's blushing bunny here in a little bit.
Okay,
And she had that happen to her. This is Miss Lalonde.
yeah, Pat Lalonde,
Pat Lalonde.
George's.
I think this is Caddo's Mr. Calico's first High Point Gilding Award.
Okay, cool picture. Okay, there's El Cajun again.
Caddo's El Cajun.
Yeah, that was in Ohio.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is Abby in one of her first years riding Caddo's Feather.
Okay,
And
Feather.
she's out of Miss King Cotton, and she's the dam of Caddo's Echo Star.
Okay,
Abby has.
okay.
And Red Cloud.
And Caddo's Red Cloud. And
And Cat.
Caddo's.
Brian's over here. His
car.
microphone's a little bit away. Can you hear Brian all right on the? I don't know if we can hear him.
And then here we go is J.A.'s Katie Sue.
Okay.
I think
If Jeanette's, hopefully Jeanette is watching. She was having a hard time figuring out how to get on here. I should have said that at the beginning too. For the people that can get on here really well, make sure you call people and tell them how to do it. You know, even because you can watch this show. We've had a few hiccups tonight with glitches and stuff, but it's still going to be fun to watch, and this will be on Facebook for eternity. As long as there's Facebook, this video will be on there. You just won't be able to comment live. So all these pictures and great history will be on
This
here.
is one of those POAs that's a horse.
Right.
I got the opportunity to ride her one time. Janae couldn't be at a fraternity,
Okay.
and they said, "Hey, can you get on her?" I'm like, "Okay." And I mean, she is a horse.
Right.
I mean, beautiful mover, beautiful
Right.
mover.
Good.
Oh Lordy.
There's an old picture.
Again, we like to celebrate any holiday.
All right.
This is Caddo's Mr. Calico. We're getting ready to go to Pawnee. If you go by Pawnee, we'll have a parade probably
Okay.
if you get there.
Okay.
So this is us going for the Christmas parade. I think 2 days before we hooked this pony up to this little cart and
Okay.
drove him to town.
Wow, that's a great picture. Oh, that one's your brother. He
yeah.
didn't get moved. Look at those boots, man. He
Yeah.
was in fashion even back then.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here's the famous Chico S. Jr. And you guys used him in your program quite a bit. So you bred Lady to, or what? Yeah, Cajun
Yeah,
Lady, right?
that was Cajun
so
Lady.
had the Chico and the Cajun come together that way. And of course, Chico Snowcap, the grandsire, was a famous Snowcap Appaloosa. So yeah, he made a name for himself. Again, there's Kevin Jewell. We just wanted to show his pedigree. So
This is a mare, one of my JPFC mares.
okay,
Back when we could only ride them 1 year.
right.
Her name is Caddo's Blue Moon.
Okay.
She was born totally black.
Wow,
And my dad said it'll be a blue moon before she ever colors.
but she did.
As a 2-year-old, she just was as colored as she could be. She looked like that,
Right.
basically. I think she's about 8 or 9 in that picture.
Okay.
I did later in the years, I tried to buy that horse back. And
Couldn't
no.
get it back. Yeah,
no, couldn't get
you
her
can't
back.
keep all of them, but sometimes you want them back. So.
Yeah. This is Caddo's Cajun Delight.
Okay. And she went to Colorado, right?
She's gone to Colorado. Again,
With
this is
Jeanette?
Tabby Roberts. She's a good friend of ours there in
Okay.
Pawnee that stayed a lot at Mom and Dad's house after I
Okay.
was in college.
Rode after you aged out.
Rode after I aged
Okay.
out. And she did lots of stuff with the mares, as you can see. We were
Right.
dragging sticks and doing all sorts of
I
stuff
see that.
with her.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's the siblings, you and Pat. So
oh Lordy.
look at all those trophies. We gotta adjust the light. That's a lot of pink there.
That's a lot of pink. If you'll notice that that blanket was in that Indian regalia that you saw earlier.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
That's cool.
the same.
And there's some of those schooner
Schooner trophies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a cool picture. So
This is Caddo's Feather Cap. Again, you
Okay.
guys heard her story. This
Right.
is,
that was a good world show in Tulsa. That was a big world show that year.
Yeah, that
in
was
Tulsa.
really
Yeah.
nice.
Oh,
And this
there's
is
Brian.
Brian, he's in Gordyville there. We're
Okay.
showing a little, his name is Caddo's Junebug. He was born the year my dad passed away.
Okay.
And that became Brian's little project.
Okay.
Until we sold him to a friend of ours, and he's been a backyard pony.
All right. Well, they don't
For
all
some
stay in POA.
No, and this is our 6-year-old. I believe at her first show, jumping more than 8 jumps at a time.
Oh, wow.
Mom is standing in the bleachers going left, right, right, left. And this pony, I don't know how he did it, but like I said, this is his first time also jumping. I never jumped on this horse. She's the only one that ever jumped on him. I mean, in her career.
Right.
I never got on him.
Monica, who said that comment? I hadn't even seen that picture.
Tabby Roberts.
Tabby Roberts
Oh.
said that on the last. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's seen that. so-
Tell her, text her back and tell her I still have that outfit.
She can hear you.
She can hear
Oh.
you. She's watching.
I
So,
forget, I forget.
That's all right. That's all right.
And this is Caddo Spring.
Okay.
She's a International Congress winner.
That was just 5 years ago.
Yeah, just 5 years ago. Sweetest little baby.
What's her breeding?
She's out of LB, All the Rage.
Okay.
And
Spencer's thing.
Caddo's Blushing Bunny.
Okay. Is she a full sister to Outrageous Cajun or
No.
no, half sister?
Auntie.
Well, they'd have the same
Their
daddy.
her grandmother is the dam of Outrageous Cajun.
Oh, okay. So it's close. I knew it was close. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the same sire, of course. The Spencer's Great Appaloosa
Yeah.
stag.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is Caddo's Blushing Bunny. She's the dam of the previous.
Right.
I started. This is when lead line trail started,
Okay.
or in hand trail.
I always liked her, and she's become a good broodmare too. So-
She's a great broodmare, and she's become my baby packer
okay.
here lately. She's still at the place. We saddled her up day before yesterday. And
Right. This is a good picture here.
this is fabulous. We try to take a international picture of family friends that we can.
Lot
That's
of
Wendy
lot of
and Rosalind.
Spencers. Yeah.
Wendy Brown, Rosalind, they're cousins, and then there I am, and Bunny and Abby, and then Sandy Brown, Spencer Brown, and
Right.
then that's Audrey
Okay.
Brown, her granddaughter, and
Okay.
then Dave.
And Dave.
Yeah.
Dave's got the crooked smile going.
Yeah. This mare is Caddo's Carrie the Rage, and it's Carrie, Carrie.
To honor your mother.
Yes, to honor my mom. And this is Abby showing her in Ranch Trail
Okay.
at the POA Congress last year.
She looks like a ranch. I don't care who you are. That's a good looking POA.
Yeah,
I mean, look
is
at how
one-
she's built.
She rides like a horse, too.
Right. Yeah.
You're sitting on a big horse. I have reining friends that I work with, and he was leading his reining horse out, and he was taking my horse, and I was getting the gate. And you look at the silhouette of the two, mine's wider and taller. Yeah, than a quarter horse reiner.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great picture there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're going back a little bit.
Going backwards again. This is
92.
Caddo's Feather
Okay.
and Caddo's Feather Cap.
Okay.
She was grand champion mare, Caddo's Feather Cap, the
Okay.
weanling.
Wow.
She beat some
Some
very-
pretty known.
pretty known and
yeah.
nice.
Was this in Oklahoma City?
Yes, this
Yeah.
is the Oklahoma City Fair,
Okay.
92.
92. All right.
That was Blaine and Rosalind's cousin that was showing better.
Oh, was it? Okay,
was
right
Ginger.
there.
Oh, that was Ginger. That's right.
Ginger. Okay. There we're back on that one. Okay. So then we move on to 09, the Mid
Here,
America.
this is Mid-America Regional in 09. Abby's first step into Lead Line Trail. She'd been working him for her 4-H project since she taught him how to lead as a weanling. She'd done everything with
Okay.
him. I didn't ever get on him.
Really?
Until you'll see a point in this presentation where I do get on him. She won that lead line class, or that in-hand trail class, against people. I know Kristen Fears, I believe, was in it.
Okay.
And there were a couple of other adult trainers
Right.
that were in it, and they were like, we didn't have a chance.
She nailed it.
Yeah, she nailed it. It wasn't just that they,
Right.
did it for a cute little girl.
So who's Tweety Bird here in Sylvester?
I believe it's Heather Scott.
I think so.
Okay.
And I don't know who the cat is. I don't know if that's me or if
It
it's
is.
somebody. Is it?
But that's your gilding, right?
Yes,
That you're
that's
on?
Caddo's Mr. Calico.
Mr. Calico, yeah.
Again, he's a little packer pony.
We got another picture of that, but of course it wasn't right in order, but
Yeah.
we'll have another one of them. So
This is my first really international win,
Okay.
and that's with Caddo's Feather Cap.
okay.
We drove her since she was 2. I think she's 4. in
You
this
do a
picture.
lot of driving, don't you? Your
I
POAs.
did
Yeah.
for many years, and I stopped for about 10 years.
Okay.
And this year is my first year to get back into
Okay.
driving, and I'm driving that Caddo's Carry the Rage mare.
Oh, okay. I
And-
bet she looks nice, and I
yeah,
can't.
she does. We did.
Oh, speaking of, there you are driving again.
Yeah, and you see what's in my lap?
Yeah.
That was the 4th of July parade.
Abby's 4 months old in that picture right
Wow.
there. She got her sunglasses on, protecting her eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 112.
Wow.
Literally, it's 112.
That's Oklahoma and 4th
Yeah.
of July. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the Pawnee Bills Y POA again, the one that was.
Yes, he has his own collector's card.
Yeah.
Uh,
I need to get one of those cards. I need to make a
Yeah.
copy of it.
and
So-
here's Caddo's Poggum.
Okay.
One of my most favorite horses. We sold him at the international sale. And I will tell you that I'm just right after they took this picture, they said, "Lope your ponies." And I loped for a little bit, and my mom is sitting on the rail, and she was talking to somebody and said, "Oh, isn't that?" And that horse thought she said, "Whoa."
And he stopped.
And he stopped because he was really her pony.
Right.
I just had him riding him.
Wow.
Mom always had an influence on all the ponies like that.
Right. That's a cool story.
Here's Caddo's Major Jim.
Okay.
Jim was mainly named after Jim Jones.
Jim Jones. Okay.
Jim Jones.
And Jim Jones owned the sire
Major
to him, Major Shannon.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Major
that-
Shannon only sired a few POAs.
That was
before-
his first one.
That was his first one, and then Major's legacy is the mare, and of course she's passed away now. But the Gardners, that's their
Yeah.
foundation. She became the mother to RY and Major Equity, and then Major's Desert Storm, a gelding. A lot of people forget. So a good-looking gelding that
Oh,
had a
he
lot of
was
success.
awesome.
A stallion that made a name for himself, this guy right here, and then of course that mare that'll probably go in the Hall of Fame. But this is arguably probably one of the prettiest POAs you guys raised. I mean, and structurally correct.
Yes.
You know, he was an awesome stallion. So, and he ended up being with Spencer's for quite a while, right? You were saying,
We sent him to Spencer's. He was about 10.
right?
After your dad died.
Yeah,
Right, and
after
your
my
mom
dad
was
died.
older. She was trying to breed with him.
Oh,
and
she
yeah.
was. She was hand breeding.
Yeah,
Woo!
I remember that in '92 when he showed. Yeah, he won
Yeah.
his class. That's a
Yeah.
nice trophy you're holding
Yeah.
there. So
And here's another
more
one.
costume.
One of my kids. This is yeah, it's
We didn't cut the sound, folks. Jan's trying to remember.
no, I remember. Oh Lord, the Burton's horse, and
Okay.
and then Spencer and I. We always have a time getting our costumes on and getting everything because we're
This is
always
a fairly
back.
modern picture, isn't it?
I think
Crosby
this was
started.
last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year, I think.
Okay.
This year, I drove in cart, the first class,
All right.
and the second class was Native Regalia, lead line.
Really?
So I had to drop my drawers right there and suit up in the leader costume.
And that's third day. He's a grand
Yeah.
champion gelding,
Yeah,
but he's
and
do it all gelding
He,
now.
he packed her like a champion. I mean, he is so patient. It's fabulous. Yeah, I know we got second this year.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
Ella beat us this year.
Ella, yeah.
Yeah, we beat Ella last year. She
Okay.
was second.
And,
We
uh,
were second this year. So
and Ella, of course,
couldn't
is
be beaten
Ashley
by a better
McKenzie.
kid.
Yeah.
yeah,
Daughter.
this is Caddo's Queenie.
Okay.
She was sold probably at that show to Mr. Greenlee in Kansas, and he used her in his breeding program.
And she was homozygous back before we really knew what
Look at
homozygous
that. We
was.
wondered why Mr. Greenlee always had those
He
spotted
had,
ponies.
he had spotted ponies.
Yeah.
And she was
Yeah.
one of the reasons. So.
Yeah, we didn't know. And then here's the Caddo's Angel. I think she's a 2-year-old here.
Okay.
There's a little discrepancy that day about her color, but you could see it quite well.
Right.
Um,
And then she ended up being a roan.
Yeah,
you know,
then
one
she
of the
spotted
one of the
out. Mm-hmm.
famous roans in the breed. Yeah. So there's Jim again,
there's
right?
Caddo's
Major Jim.
Jim. We ended
Yeah.
up 5th overall. Yeah, 5th overall that year in the JPFC.
Okay. That's when JPFC, not that it
Two-
isn't now, but it was really strong in the
Oh,
early
I put a
90s.
new motor in our truck
Yeah.
with that horse.
Right.
Those winnings.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was strong.
Yeah, we threw a rod on the way to that show. Here we go. This is Caddo's Cajun Delight. And this, I
Okay.
believe that's Carrie Eckroat.
Okay.
And Dad behind her.
That's a good picture of your dad, yeah.
So,
And then she went out to Jeanette Aaron, right? This
Right.
one, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
and then here we
when-
got Caddo's Cajun Lady and Caddo's Cajun Chico again.
At the International, winning Marin Full. She
Yeah.
did that a couple
And
times.
there he is, Caddo's Cajun Chico as a yearling.
Yeah, won the International. That's in Missouri. And there he is in Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. Mr. Potter took this picture.
All right.
That's when those pictures again. They've gone
What's
up
that?
to $6.
Plaid pants again.
Yeah, there's his
The
pants
same
again.
pair.
Yeah.
Same pair.
Yeah.
There they are again.
Yeah, there's those pants again.
Yeah.
Different colt though.
Different colt. This is
Yeah.
Streaker. Caddo Streaker.
And of course, there's Doug Murfeld. We lost Doug a few years ago, but great POA.
Oh, and then this is when Dad went into the Hall of Fame.
Right. That's
This was a picture he took when he was at OU.
A freshman.
Freshman at OU.
He said he was their token Indian.
he was our token. But he was proud of his heritage.
He
though,
was
right?
very proud
Yeah,
of
or
his
he wouldn't have
heritage.
put that on his plaque.
No.
So, and he used Caddo for his prefix, so
Right.
which was an ingenious deal. You know what I mean? Because we all know now prefixes are, horses with prefixes. You can always tell where they came from, and
Yeah.
it can either hurt you, but if you have a good program like you do and your folks did, it helps you.
Well,
So
and we had a program. It was called Two Mares.
2 mares, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
our program.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not knocking anybody or anything, but it's really funny. The show we did Tuesday, the Victor family, they had sometimes upwards of 100 horses on their farm, 60 to 80 POAs, and then Appaloosa and quarter horses. And everybody's seen the truck and trailer they had back in the day. Was unheard of to have a big truck like that and a crew cab and a long trailer. And then we showed the picture tonight, or hopefully we show it, of a yellow station wagon in a stock trailer. So that
And
was
that
matched.
was updated.
Yeah.
Okay, here's Abby on Caddo's Carry the Rage, and then I'm on a 2-year-old gelding. This was last year,
Okay.
of which,
Brian, you made it in a picture.
yeah, he
again.
made it in the picture. And
With
of
the
course-
dogs.
With the dogs. We have Baker and Jack.
That's a great family picture there.
Yeah. And
There's
this
a
is-
dog riding again.
That's Birdie.
Birdie, okay.
Birdie the dog, and then there's Abby and her Sperry cheer.
She liked to
Winter
ride on her pony, especially
Yeah.
when she gamed them
I
and stuff.
had to go to Sally's hair every time and get hair dye spray
To get
wash
that out.
off
All right.
so that they could go to a horse show.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and this is Raging Cajun,
Raging Cajun.
I
Okay.
believe.
This would have been in
Let's see,
Missouri.
Year 2014 International Futurity. That's our International Futurity in Missouri. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
that's a good picture too.
And there's Spencer in her tummy.
Yep, Spencer's in Rosalind's tummy. Yep, Dave's smiling. They got some hardware there and a check. So of course that was Pat at the lead. There you are winning the Congress.
This is Caddo's Raging Rabbit.
Raging Rabbit. Okay.
He's actually, I believe, for sale right now. He's a
Okay.
2-year-old. I can't think of the lady's name right
That's
now.
a nice head and neck. Yeah.
One of the sweetest horses. Gosh, there's Delight again.
There's
Caddo's
Delight.
Cajun Delight.
Okay, before she roamed a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, that's an older picture.
Yeah, and there's Angel.
Angel.
I had her. That's her 2-year-old picture. We were
Okay.
JPFC
Okay.
that day. And
Angel.
then my dog
the
Sparky.
dog Sparky. Yeah.
Okay. Here's Abby and Caddo's Echo Star, and then Dunnett. Dunnett is his last name. We called him Y Baby.
Why, baby?
Yeah, because he looked like Y.
Oh, okay.
But it's done in private.
Done in private.
Done in
Okay.
private, that's
All right.
Yeah.
There isn't many horses on here that's not Caddos. I hope people are noticing
that
that.
one was foaled at the Spencer house.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
That's why.
I always
And
thought this was amazing. This is Angel as a 3-year-old, and Tori was 8. And they
Okay.
high pointed and won the high point saddle. She was 8, the horse was 3. They'd neither one ever done a timed event, and they were in the running.
Look at
So
that
they
big
had to
trophy.
teach them how to do each timed event after the previous one all the way through. She didn't win a single one of them, but she placed in every one.
Right.
and we taught the mare to jump 2 to 3 weeks before
Wow.
the international.
Wow.
We just took her in the arena. Okay, started her on a lunge line. Then I said, okay, get your saddle, put her on her. Left her on the lunge
Right.
line. 2 weeks.
She was just a talented, great
She did
mare.
it.
Yeah.
Now here is one of the offspring of the Siri bloodline.
Oh, okay.
This is Caddo Spur Jr.
Okay.
He again was another little packer horse.
Right.
He was out of my brother's first pony.
Oh, really?
Her name was Spur,
Okay.
and then the Caddo.
You can see the
The
Siri
Siri in him.
influence, yeah,
Yeah.
because we've been seeing roans and blankets, and all of a sudden there's that Siri leopard.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sweet, sweet horse. Here's Poggum.
Poggum.
He's at our Indianapolis International.
Right, you like Poggum. for
I
sure.
love Poggum. Here's Abby being introduced to Caddo's Red Cloud.
Oh,
He's
okay.
still a stud here. He stayed a stud till he was about 4 years old.
Really?
Uh-huh. Always really nice. Here we go. Here's Caddo's blushing bunny.
Okay.
Bunny was born on an Easter Sunday. That's why she's named Bunny. Plus, she's out of Scooter, which is K.
RDR, Jake.
Brian for the save. Brian, you're on TV now. You're on your camera.
JKA. Oh, that's
The
terrible.
Bagwell's style.
JK Supreme Scooter.
There you go.
Thank you.
I wasn't paying attention. So.
Okay. Anyway, Blaine took her. I couldn't go all of a sudden, and she did her an in-hand trail. And I think she ended up 6th.
So that's Blaine Spencer?
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
Blaine.
Yeah.
Blaine had never shown her before the day she got there, never
Right.
shown an in-hand trail before she got there. So I thought it was a excellent job that both
Right.
of them did.
And that's Blaine Arthur now, who's
Yeah.
the Secretary of Agriculture for the state of Oklahoma.
That's right.
First female to have that position. So the POA is really proud of that, for sure.
Oh, Lord.
Who's that? That's you.
That's me. That's
And
my
Miss-
first day.
That's
of-
Mr. Calico?
Yeah, that's Caddo's Mr. Calico.
I didn't realize you rode him so much. You know, I knew he was a supreme champion and stuff.
I made that coat myself. My home ec teacher said, "Did you know that you're a freshman in high school and you're matching plaids already?" I said, "I didn't know. I just
Did you get an
liked
A
it."
for the coat?
I did.
All these
I
years
did.
later, we're enjoying it on the podcast.
Yeah.
So.
Here we are.
Talk
at-
about the grand entry a little bit.
Northbrook, Illinois.
Okay.
First time I'd ever been to a motel that had 3 locked doors behind the motel room. I think we're in the back left-hand corner. I think about 1, 2, 3, 4 from the left, next to the guy with the red coat.
Okay.
Is Calico and myself. This was we looked forward to this as kids, displaying our flags from each state, and we'd get introduced right in, right out. It was a fabulous thing. I think
And that
we
was
started
76, so you notice those guys are dressed like Minutemen, or, you know, that's why.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Bicentennial.
That's right.
Bicentennial, yep. And they brought back the grand entry this year because it was a huge part of when you were growing up.
Yes.
Huge part of POA.
Always.
Yeah.
Okay, here's Caddo's Major Jim.
There's Major Jim as a baby,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
And
think
he's in
he's-
a lot of pedigrees, especially through the Spencers now.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see, if you look back in the pedigrees, he's in there.
Here's Caddo's Feather.
Okay.
Again.
Feather was a good packer too, right?
This mare, well, she's the dam of Caddo's Red Cloud.
Right.
And she can trot, and you never knew she was trotting. The best thing for a kid.
There's the JA mare again. So
Yeah.
that's Bianca Seafer. They won the international last year.
She's such a hunk.
That's a nice mare, yeah. And that's from your program through Jeanette Aaron's
Yeah.
program. So
Now here is mare, I think it's Ashley's second POA, Caddo's Fascination.
okay.
We sold Fancy back somewhere on the East Coast. I can't remember exactly where. And then the Mackenzie's bought her. We were hauling into the Oklahoma City fair late at night. I had worked all day. Mom had worked all day. It was about 11 o'clock at night. We're loading our stuff in. And I hear this horse going at us. We walked by and she'd go. And I was like, I went in the stall and I was like, is there something wrong with her? Is she caught up in something? And she didn't do it when I went in the stall, but my mom walked by and she went.
Huh.
And my mom's like, what are you doing? I said, this horse keeps talking to you when she walks by. And she's like, is she hurt or something? I said, no, she's not hurt. And all of a sudden, we realized that it was Caddo's Fancy.
Wow.
That mare recognized my mother. This mare was 12 years old.
Wow.
She had not seen my mother for over 6 to 8 years.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something else.
But that's how mom raised them by hand.
Right, and she fed them and raised
Yeah.
them. Yeah, that
So-
mare remembered her. So.
Yeah.
Monica, do you recognize that girl in that picture?
It's actually.
That's
Yeah.
Ashley McKenzie.
Yeah.
Yep, she's sat right where Jan's sitting. So
Yeah.
on our first episode. So All right, there's an older picture.
This is the only Indian costume class that I ever won.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I had a judge tell me one time that I should really work on my story, that it needed to be more believable.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, you should go over and talk to that little Indian lady on the rail over there, because this was her shirt, this was her mother's shirt. And I said, this couldn't be any more authentic.
Right.
And I said, authenticity is part of, it says in the rule book,
Right.
authenticity.
Right.
And he's like, what? And so he went over and he talked to her.
Did he really?
Yeah,
And found out
but the
that-
class was already placed. It
Right,
wasn't very
of
much
course.
help. But
Right.
maybe we made an influence on it. I think that was at Des Moines.
Okay.
And then this is Ventura, California again.
Okay.
And those, like I said, that's a Navajo blanket. That skirt was made by my great grandmother. Then my
Right.
grandmother made the shirt.
Right.
The Native Americans were known for their silver, so his bridle is covered with silver,
Okay.
flat silver. And then those are moccasins made by my great grandmother.
Wow.
My grandmother put a piece in it so that it fit on my feet. And then my leggings, which are the black and colorful things coming from my ankle up to my mid shin, that's all called ribbon work.
Oh,
Those
okay.
are intricate designs of ribbons that go in there.
You can't get much more
No,
real than that.
You
so.
can't get much more real than that. And then here's Janae, and I believe this is Caddo's.
Is that Katie?
No, that's not Katie. That's Valentina.
Valentina.
Caddo's Valentina.
Okay.
Because she's
All right.
blacker. She stayed blacker. I don't know how old Janae is in that one.
Somebody, I don't know who just wrote Caddo's fascination had a lot of foals, including Y.
Ashley.
That's Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
I felt famous because when you entered Oklahoma from Texas, there was a huge billboard with Y rearing. So, yeah, and that was my pony's baby. So pretty exciting. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ashley wrote all that.
Yeah.
So there's the picture we've been waiting for.
That's the picture we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Now, if you'll notice, there's a rattle on the floor, on the ground.
Right.
She held that rattle for quite a long time. The three judges walked up to us and looked at her and said, "And what do you have to say about your story?" She raised that rattle up and went, la 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 la, and threw the rattle at them.
Right.
And they looked at me and went, "What did she say?" And I just, told her that she was a Caddo baby and
Right.
that we had her. If you
Is
look
that
at
the same costume?
that is the same costume. See, that is Aaron's is it looks pink here. It's a little
Right.
bit, and that's all theirs. And then my dress.
Right.
That's the time Brian configured the baby harness into
Right.
putting it around the papoose.
She
because-
looks safe though. She looks real
Oh,
safe.
she was very safe.
Right.
It was around the horn of the saddle and everything.
Right. She looks like she's in there for
But I was sure that everybody thought I was a terrible mother. She did get fourth in
fourth
the class. Fourth.
at 4 months old.
At 4 months old.
Out of 18.
She still has the ribbon
At
on her
18, yeah.
blackboard in her
Oh,
room.
that's a cool story. Cool time.
The horse shook. I mean, and you see all those beads and everything, she
Right.
shook, and these beads are flying off her slide at a 90-degree angle. She starts to scream.
Oh no.
So I'm like, okay, everybody thinks I'm a bad mom now. So I take her and I move the horse so that Abby can see the people.
All right.
Stopped crying immediately.
Did you? Yeah.
All the people. So we had to line up in the opposite direction.
And she kept riding horses her whole youth career, so
Oh,
I don't think
yes.
it scared her too much.
No, it didn't hear. Here's Spence again.
Spence, yeah.
That was last year when third day and
Yep.
all of us
You
won.
want it? That's cool. Cool picture again.
And this is Caddo's Giducky.
Geducky. Tell us about that name real quick.
Giducky is Shawnee,
Okay.
absentee Shawnee for spotted pony. My grandmother years ago put together a little bit of a list for me before she died for some pony names. And
Okay.
So Giducky, it's Geducky.
Okay.
And
Cool.
it's Shawnee. Now here's a fabulous pony, Caddo's Chickadee.
Chickadee, yeah.
Chickadee, my brother started her. We sold her as, I think, a 3 or a 4-year-old. She went to a family, actually 2 families. One of them being the Jones family. With
the Jones, and they were in Wisconsin for a long
right, the
time.
other Jones
Right.
family. They were in Wisconsin at that
Dottie,
time.
Katie, Matt.
That's
was the
it.
kids.
Dottie,
Yeah.
Katie, and Matt.
Yeah.
And
Jensen?
and Dottie and Katie, traded out on her, and finally they goaded their dad into buying a full pony. They only had half of the pony
Oh, really?
because they'd split it. It was so much money that they'd split it with some other family.
that's-
So they finally bought the whole pony. She ended up being a supreme champion.
Oh, for
also.
sure. I remember her when we got into POA. She was one of the top showing in the Midwest with the
Right.
Jones kids. Yeah.
Oh, and here, I think Angel, this is Caddo's Angel with Tori Patrick on
Okay.
her. And I think she's 5 there, maybe 5. And she's
Probably.
being sold at the time to Carrie Alm.
Okay.
That's the little girl in the middle. A funny story, Carol Alm, her mom, had called Mr. Jim Jones, Dr. Jim Jones.
Okay.
And she wanted to buy Chickadee.
Right.
And Jim was like, "No, I don't think that's the right pony for her." She said, "I've got the right." He said, "I know the right pony for her." So she called us, and sure enough, she and Angel were a fabulous pair until Carrie's legs got too long.
All
They
right.
were literally touching the ground. She couldn't jump her anymore. So
Right.
that meant she had to go find a new family.
And she found that family with McKenzie's.
Yes,
Yeah.
I pulled Kathy McKenzie to the side and I said, "I have a horse that you're going to buy."
Right.
And I pulled their dad over and I said, "There's a horse you're going to buy. Get ready."
And they thanked you ever since, probably. so-
It's the only horse her dad loved.
Right.
He loved her to
Right.
death. Yes. Okay. And
Is this Outrageous Cajun? I
Yes.
keep guessing. I think
Yes.
that's him, isn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
that's Outrageous Cajun.
Okay.
He's actually a full brother to my gelding,
Okay.
Caddo's Clark.
Okay.
And
I see Ken Steele.
Ken Steele, and that's because that was the Pat Steele. That's when they
Oh.
did the memorial
yeah.
to Pat Steele. So they were sponsoring the big trophy there.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, Dave's in there. Pat Burton's holding the. He's a stallion now. Of course, he's standing at the Spencer's.
Yeah, just saw him
Yeah.
a few weeks ago.
Okay. Yep. He's a nice stallion. So more
See,
costume.
I'm
There's
twirling.
that
pink.
pink costume.
I'm a little bit younger
A
there,
little bit younger. Yeah.
but we're still twirling.
We're gonna start speeding through some of these because
this
it's
JBFC
9:05.
pony, that's my cat.
Okay.
Here, these are all
That's
related.
Rosalind and.
They're all out at Caddo's Major Gym.
Okay.
Um,
All right. That's a good picture.
yeah. This is one of Jeanette Aaron's
Okay.
ponies.
All right. Because she had a lot of them out of the. I think she owned four Caddo's mares. She said something like that.
Yes.
So-
3 or 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of these are pictures from Spencer's. They're related to Caddo's. So I know Brian wanted to include this, and of course I'm a pedigree freak, so I love this too. We start out up top, and this is 7 generations if you go down of Caddos, and Caddos carry the Rage, who we've seen some great pictures of tonight. She's on the bottom, but you go all the way up, and you see Caddo's Blushing Bunny, Caddo's Cajun Blush, Caddo's Feather, Caddo's Miss King Cotton. Then you go over to Lady Sea Scamp and all the way up to Cajun Lady, up to the original 2, Cajun Creek Jr. and you say that name for me.
Wakaw Samui.
That's one of you guys' first mares, right?
That's our
The
first,
first mare.
Dad bought her at a sheriff's sale.
Wow.
She was about 47 inches tall.
Do you remember how much you paid for her?
I think he paid $75
Wow.
for her. That was big money. big
And she
money.
became the mother to one of the greatest producers ever, Caddo's
Exactly.
Cajun Lady. And then, of course, you see on the left side over there, go down that line, Chico S. Jr., Major Shannon, Caddo's Major Jim, JK Supreme Scooter, and now very modern LBL, All the Rage, which Spencer is there. That's their app stallion. He's the sire to the one we just seen, Outrageous Cajun. So a lot of good stallions that you guys put in the mix.
Murfield on the other side.
Yeah, he said
Murfeld,
MP's
yeah, MP's impressor, yeah, and he's the full brother to Speculator. So a lot of you guys brought in a lot of good blood, but you mixed it with the mares that you kept. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
This is my daughter Abby and her friend Sarah.
Okay.
And she brought Sarah home one day and said, "Mom, we're going to teach her how to ride." And I said, "Oh, you are?" She said, "Yeah." So Sarah started coming home. She'd never been on a horse before. Abby brought her every day, came home, she started riding
Oh,
Cloud,
that's Red Cloud, yeah.
Red Cloud, and she showed a whole year on Cloud and really did well, never fell off. That's our
Okay.
goal.
Well, there she is at the 4-H.
Won
Yeah.
a couple of ribbons.
Run a
Yeah.
couple of ribbons. Here we have Caddo's King Creole.
Okay.
We called him Elvis.
Right, he was in the movie, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the only time that I was on this horse. We were at a NSBA show,
Okay.
and they needed a third person in the class so that one of these people could get points or
Right,
something.
so you jumped
and so
on.
they came up to Abby and said, "Don't you think your mother could get on your horse and be in the class?" And they were like, and she's like, "Yeah." So I had to go buy a shirt and find somebody's hat and find some chaps, and I had the Western Pleasure class and trail,
Okay.
and I got second in the pleasure class, and I got first in the trail class.
You didn't help him get points
I
that
didn't
way.
help him get
Yeah.
the point, and I
That's a
said,
Chris
if I'm
Maxwell
going to do
for
this, I'm going to do it.
Right.
So that
You
just
did.
shows the talent of this little horse.
Right. That's a cool.
And
cool
he's
story.
loaned out too right now.
This is the Force, isn't it, from
Yes.
Spencer's, and he goes back to your bloodlines, of course.
No, he does not.
He doesn't.
No,
Well, why do we got him in
I
here?
don't know exactly why we got him. in
She
here.
sent this to me.
I think you said because it was a family picture.
Maybe because it's a family
Probably
picture.
because it's a family.
But I
picture.
thought she said he went back to, but maybe not.
maybe that is. Well,
If
maybe
he's-
this one does. I could be bad.
I don't know. She sent me a bunch of these pictures. Of course, they've dominated the futurities the last decade. So this is a good picture. Is that Ashley again over
That's
there?
Ashley.
Okay,
That's some of her first years.
that's in Gordyville. Yeah, I
starting
was
to
at that
ride.
show. Yeah,
Angel.
yeah. There's a good picture.
There's Cloud. Caddo's
Yeah.
Red Cloud and Jack.
Jack, yeah.
And that's Spirit again. Gotta
Spirit,
do
yeah. We seen one of those, something like that. There you're driving again.
Caddo's Major Jim.
Okay.
We hooked this horse up about 10 times
Really,
and took him
Yeah.
to the show. Yeah. We got second.
As a
but-
stallion.
as a
As
stallion.
a stallion, right.
Here's some older ones again.
This is in Estes Park, Colorado.
Right. Oh, I went by pretty
Now,
fast.
this is my favorite picture.
Right.
This is what POA is all about.
Look at that. Yeah.
Getting little kids interested. I mean, she's really tiny. This mare is only 49 inches tall.
Is that feather?
That's Feather.
Yeah.
That's Caddo's Feather. She finished her career there with Ginger Brown Baker.
Right.
Now,
Her brothers,
Audrey, her niece, rode Feather and started
Okay.
her riding career. And now
Okay.
she's riding Yida horses.
All right.
So,
What are the? What's you?
Youth Equine Development Association.
Okay.
It's a catch ride
I
program.
thought they were from a different country or
No,
something.
it's a catch ride program. You
Okay.
you draw a number
Right.
and you draw that horse. And
Tracy just told me to slow down, Kent. We're enjoying this, but I know I'm gonna lose some of that. And the Force, well, is by Outrageous Cajun.
Oh, he is. Okay.
That's why.
Okay. Sorry.
You were thinking he was by All the Rage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, yeah, this is a picture that should be on promotional covers. It doesn't always have to be shiny halters and or saddles. That
Yeah.
tells you what you can do with them. So,
And there's my Caddo's Carry the Rage again.
yeah, I really like that mare. Carry
Uh,
the Rage. Yeah.
I love her. She's just wonderful.
There's Outrageous Cajun who won the Futurity as a baby, and he's the sire to the Force that we just seen a little while ago. So
That's right.
he's standing. So there you see the pedigree. Caddo's Feather, who we just showed with the little girl, she's the grandma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I'll tell you, these horses can move.
they can move, and they're pretty too. And he's what I call a 3D horse. When Pat showed him in that picture there,
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching. I was in Tulsa watching that, and you don't always get all of it by the profile. You got to walk around him because they're just 3D angles, and just that's what makes a true horse. I
Yeah.
think they're a lot more than a profile.
Yeah. But there's my little feather cap again, Caddo's feather cap.
Feather cap,
And,
yeah.
another Pawnee kid.
Yeah, Lauren.
Well-
And this is this is the only shot I have of him. This is Caddo's Binger. Oh, I'm sorry, that's being White.
Bing-
Little Axe. This is Caddo's
This is
Little,
Little
Axe.
Axe. Okay.
Little
So he's the
Axe.
one that grew up with Y, right?
Yeah, he grew up with
Excellent.
Y.
Town that Art lived in when he was young outside of Norman's, Little Axe.
Oh, okay.
And so
Cool.
he named that Little Axe. And the same year, we had Y, and Y is actually, from the town of Anadarko, you come to a Y in the road, and that is the Binger Y, and that's where the Caddo tribal complex is. So he, from his youth, you got
Right.
Little Axe and Binger Y, so Axe and Y.
Right. I hope people are enjoying this because this is some cool history. So, oh, here's a tribute to the Spencer ladies. So, beautiful picture there. Of course, that was at the wedding, at a wedding. So we threw this in because they mean so much to you. You're like Auntie Jan.
I'm
so
Auntie Jan.
You're Auntie Jan. So
That's right.
yeah, they're sure beautiful ladies. They all grew up in POAs. So. There's the truck, or the rig. The rig. Look at
Yeah.
that color match, and
Yeah, we had to go over to Cushing and get that,
To get the country squire.
match it to the
Yeah.
country, Ford Country Squire.
And
I
our
love
wagon,
that picture.
The year before this, they gave a wagon away if you bought a station wagon. And Art pulled enough strings that they went and found a wagon to give him to
Yeah.
complete the deal.
Now this is the engine in this was a 454 gas engine.
I was like dumping gas on the ground. dude.
Yeah, yeah. But
That was a big old. So it pulled that trailer.
it
easy,
pulled it
yeah.
just fine. Yeah.
That's cool.
This is that's Kentucky.
Gadecki, yeah.
That's Kentucky.
Yeah, I like that picture too.
This is
That's in Colorado.
Delight.
With Tabby
Caddo's
Roberts.
Cajun Delight with
Okay.
Tabby Roberts.
Okay. Look at that motorhome in the background. In a Ford. That ages that Ford. This is one of
That's
Jeanette.
Delight.
That's Delight, yeah.
Caddo's Cajun Delight with the baby.
At Jeanette Aaron's place.
Yes.
So, yeah.
What a
I
baby.
wanted to get that across that Jeanette, has got a good breeding program over the years, the JA POAs, and a lot of Supremes and Champions, and a lot of her stuff came from Caddos, and then the Spencers as well. They're a little more modern, but we seen Dave with Caddo's Princess way back when he was a teenager. So they've had, Caddos had an influence on their program as well. So, boy, you do like
I
costumes.
do like costume.
Funny you didn't grow up to be like a dancer or something. Or
I was a dancer.
You were a dancer? I stand
Yes,
corrected
yes.
again. So.
She didn't grow up
I
to be
danced
one.
my way through
She
college.
didn't grow up to be one. You were
Yeah.
one. Okay.
Yeah. Back, I was grown up in the disco age, remember?
All right.
Yeah, disco
Studio
dancing.
54.
She was the 1979 Oklahoma State disco dance champion.
Get out of here. Are you serious? Monica's laughing.
I paid some telephone bills.
We
with-
gotta show. There's all three of us, so I
Yeah.
better get in the camera shot. But there's all.
I paid some telephone bills with
Wow,
that
that's-
dance money.
So you can't get this history anywhere else, people. You're watching my POA podcast, Black
There's
Hand and
Tabby
Beyond.
Roberts again.
There's Tabby Roberts, and that's who's that?
That's Delight.
Before
Yeah,
she roamed
that
out.
is Cajun
Yeah.
Delight.
Yeah.
Ashley wants to see your moves, Jan.
Yeah, Ashley wants to see you.
She's seen my moves.
Another
here-
good picture with a lot of
Oh,
extended
this is
family.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
That's Jim as a baby.
Yeah. No,
that's not
Jim. as a
Jim.
baby.
That's not
No, I
Jim.
didn't.
No, that's Cloud. So Jim is at home
Right.
reading mares. There's
KS
Ash-
is alias I'm no ghost.
Yeah. No, that's Poggum.
Is that possible?
That's Poggum. That sure is. That's Bree on Poggum.
Okay.
Yeah,
Remember that lady wanted to know.
yeah. 99. Jim was an
I'm
89.
Auntie Jan to Bree Shillingford, also the
Oh,
young
okay.
lady on the far left. And
Okay,
her
you're
dad,
Auntie
John
Jan.
Shillingford.
Okay.
People wanted to know which one of us were adopted, her mother or me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Abby always called Charlotte Auntie Jan, or Auntie Charlotte.
all right.
And Bree always called Jan Auntie Jan, so.
That's cool. A lot of good memories. A lot of good history.
That's Caddo's Carry the Rage.
That's Carry the Rage. That's the one I really, really like now. Some of the modern pictures of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's Cloud,
Okay.
his second big rider.
He sure got a cool eye and a unique head and just a.
That's
cool.
what I said. He's so pretty.
He's pretty.
He's
Yeah.
a pretty boy.
He's pretty. Yeah.
That tail of his is all real.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's some more Spencers. I think most of these are related to you guys'
Yes.
stuff. So
Yes.
this would have been before Outrageous Cajun, but
she's all the rage.
she
I
okay.
think that's.
She's all the
I
rage.
think
Yeah.
it's she. Yeah.
Yeah, that says that on there. She's all the
Okay.
rage. Yeah. Well, way
Oh.
back time.
Way back. Yeah. There's Pat Jones. He used to
Okay.
be able to wear short sleeve shirts.
So
in
when
Western
Pat
pleasure.
grew up, he got into what, racehorses or
He got into racehorses.
yeah,
Quarter
what-
horse.
quarter horses
Yeah, quarter horse
in
racers.
Tennessee,
No,
in Oklahoma. Okay, did he continue to do that in
he
Tennessee?
worked. Oh, he's worked for what's the one that he's got white hair. He used to be
Wayne Lucas.
Wayne Lucas.
Yeah, because he was in quarter horses before he was
Yeah.
in thoroughbred.
He's done a few things for
D.
Dwayne.
Wayne.
Dwayne.
D. Wayne Lucas.
Dwayne. That's Steve Schomburg and myself. He was from Kansas. We won the scholarship that
The
year.
scholarship.
Saw me earlier.
That was in California, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's California.
Okay.
Oh,
You like your Dalmatian dogs?
I like my spots. I do. That was Sparky. He is the best dog ever. And that's Caddo's Angel there.
That's Angel as
As
a
a
young,
2-year-old.
yeah, as a filly. Yeah.
Yeah, 2-year-old filly.
Yeah.
And
That's-
Pat.
And Pat. That's my brother Pat.
Okay.
It's when he's, and there's Abby
And that's Red Cloud again,
and
right?
Red Cloud. Her favorite thing is run faster, jump higher. And here's my Abby and I this year.
Let's-
This 21.
They
now.
switched horses.
We
this year.
switched horses this year.
Okay.
I went back to the big mare and I told her,
She could,
she says this bad habit of coming up 2 weeks before the entries are due for
right?
Congress and going, did you enter me?
Right. Did you enter me?
Yeah, and I go, well,
No.
you're riding Clark.
Uh-oh.
And she's like, okay. And she's still placed above me a couple of times.
Wow.
That's just not fair.
Somebody's bragging about you growing tails. They said you can grow the best
Ashley.
tails. Ashley.
I try.
Ashley's saying that. So. Oh, there's the one earlier.
There,
Tweety Bird,
that's-
9 lives.
And that's a different horse under there. That's Caddo's Cajun Lady under there.
Okay, a
She's
different
tapping
horse.
somebody. Yeah. There's Caddo's Blushing Bunny.
Yep, another good built Caddo's mare.
Yeah,
for
she's
sure.
only 50
What?
and a half.
And she wasn't that old probably in that picture.
She's a 4-year-old in that
4-year-old,
picture.
okay.
Yeah. There's Dad again.
So there's your dad and when he went into the
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. So pretty early, 97. It started in 90. So he was a fairly early inductee.
There's Mom and David Spencer.
Yep, great picture there.
They're
Yep.
lying to
Dave
each
sent
other.
that to me. Thanks, Dave. Thank you to all the people that sent pictures. Of course, you guys drove over. How far is the drive from where you guys live? 2
An
hours?
hour and a half to 2 hours.
Oh, it ain't too bad.
No,
then.
it's all 412.
It's 4-lane all the way.
Yeah.
What?
It made it sound like it was gonna be a half a day drive.
Well, I told mine, they're driving a long way. I told Shane Jackson, I said, we got to put them up in a hotel. He's like, if you mention Jackson's, we'll put them up in a hotel. So there's your family, extended family a little bit, the in-laws.
Yeah.
So Brian's
and
in there and
Kathy.
Kathy, and that's your brother
That's
Pat.
sometime in the late 80s.
And Mom and Dad. Yeah.
Yep.
That's us.
All right. Well, that's a great picture. So, oh, we got some more pictures here.
There's the beginning of Ashley. There's Miss Carrie Alm.
Okay.
Tori
Those are the
Patrick.
3 riders that rode
The
that
beginning, the middle, and the end
Of
of Angel's
Angel.
career.
Wow.
Yeah.
That picture should be somewhere,
Yeah.
should be hanging up somewhere for sure.
Yeah. And
And
Tori.
guess what? That's our last picture. So
Well, Tori's just bought her daughter a little pony. So
Really?
her daughter is
Oh.
getting into horse showing also.
wow, that's
Yeah.
great. I think I planned to put that picture there. I'll just say that I meant to put that last. So I think I meant the one before that to be last, but it worked out great. So,
Yeah.
so is there anything that I think we mentioned all the Supremes? There's been 6 of them. So Red Cloud Angel, Miss Chickadee, Cajun Delight, Streaker Bee, Mr. Calico, and Valentina. So that's a lot of Supremes from one little
I'd
program.
love to know any more about Caddo's Streaker B.
Okay.
If anybody knew more about him out
Right,
there.
and I bet somebody might be on here because somebody thanked me for putting his picture on. So I'll have to go back, but that might have been Jules.
Because the
said
last
that.
time I saw him was a weanling.
Okay.
We took him to Ventura. He got second in the weanling colt class, and somebody bought him from Mom and Dad, and I don't remember anything else.
Tracy's saying, no, we can't be done. Well, the pictures are done, but we're still talking, Tracy.
Yeah.
I'm going to put, okay, you're going to be on camera, Brian, so there you
I
go.
will tell you one other story
ahead.
about Caddo's Cajun Lady. That back in the day, we used to have to qualify to go to the World Show. Remember
Right,
that?
right.
I went to 3 shows that year. It was
And
called
qual-
the Regional and the the Regional and the International Show. Those are the 2 shows I went to. I qualified to go to the World by
Right.
going to those 2.
You won
And-
enough points.
Yeah, and placing. Well, unfortunately, my Caddo's Mr. Calico horse that I qualified on became lame.
Okay.
First time in his career he'd ever been lame. And so I had Caddo's Cajun Lady sitting at home. My brother had for years told me I needed to ride her.
Right.
Of which I
You
didn't.
didn't, yeah.
I didn't want to.
Right.
She was a mare.
Right.
I didn't want to.
She was having babies.
She
but-
was having babies.
Right.
And she didn't have a baby on her. So a couple of weeks before the World Show, I was like, okay. And they let you switch, you know, since you
Right.
had a veterinary letter and all that. And I was in horsemanship, or equitation, we called it then. And I was seated next to, we were lined up, and we'd done our lope, trot, canter, both ways. I can't remember if it was Susie or Cindy Denny that was sitting to the right. I think it was Cindy. And then myself, and then I can't remember her name. She was from Arizona. And we were all told to dismount from our horses and slide down a horse. So Cindy had my horse, Caddo's Cajun Lady, and then I had the lady's horse from Arizona, of which she had legs that were twice as long as mine, and she rode with Rommel reins.
Oh, wow.
Of which I was like, walked by her, I went, how do I do this? And she said, just put your hand here and go bump bump, and that's all you'll need to do. So they had us, the three of us, go around one more time.
Wow.
And Cindy ended up winning it on my horse.
Oh.
The girl from Florida or Arizona got second, and I got third.
Oh,
I was
okay.
very happy with that. Very happy with that. But we got out of the pen, and Cindy was like, "Why haven't you been riding this horse all of your life? Why have you been riding the gelding?"
All right.
I said, "Because I didn't like her." She says, "Well, this is the one you should have been riding."
All right.
I
She was
like,
a great,
Okay, my
great
brother was
mare.
right.
All right.
All right, it's
It
on.
pained you to say that.
It did.
Now it's on video.
Yeah, it's
so.
on video. But
yeah.
he doesn't text nor have Facebook.
So he isn't even watching this
No,
tonight.
uh-uh.
So we could have made fun of his pants even more because
Yeah.
he's not going to see it. So
We sure
We
did
can
that.
do it off camera.
You've
Yeah,
got
we
the
could do it off-
story
yeah, we-
about Streaker B here.
got a story about
Oh,
Streaker B.
Terry Troutman Strauss said that they had him until he died at age 33, and that they bought him from Dreisker at the Ohio sale
Okay.
when Streaker
And they're
was
from
18.
Reading, Pennsylvania,
When he
right?
was 18?
When he was 18.
And he got 15 more years?
Yeah, and he died at 33.
Awesome.
They're from Pennsylvania, Monica. They're from Reading. That's the people we were going to meet when we were up by the
Right.
pagoda that time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Cool.
See, this show brings out history, so that's good. Brian, I'm going to take you off camera. Is that going to break your heart?
I'm good.
So there. Oh, Monica, you're a cameo in the background. So
Hey!
that's what it's supposed to be about Jan. So anyway, I'm a statistics guy, so all this history and pictures have been really great, but I want to make sure I get in the boring statistics, so which is really important. Your family is ranked 13th of all time, not counting the 21 show. That's not updated yet. So since the beginning of the International and Congress till now, your family's raised. The wins are 94. 94 wins, 16 in halter and 78 in performance, which is actually pretty balanced because you want to be a lot more performance than halter. Chico S. Jr. has 35 wins. You guys helped do that, some of that. And MP's Impressor has 31 wins as a sire, which was mainly all you guys. So that's some great statistics there. So 13th for a small operation. It's not like you guys had
Yeah.
10 mares and
Yeah,
4
2
stallions.
mares.
2 mares.
2 mares.
And 1
pretty much.
stallion usually, or you hauled out. So, yeah, so that's cool. Tracy Sweet said hi, Monica. So
Hi, Tracy.
I might have to have you on more shows.
Yeah.
So. And you guys too. You might have to come back. We can have a show about something else. So I want to have Spencer's come up for a show. I know they're very busy, and Ashley again. So it's
yeah.
hard to get people to come in, to the show. It's got to be Oklahoma or Kansas people
Yeah.
pretty much. So
Yeah.
did you guys have fun? Brian, you're going to be back on camera. Did you have fun?
Sure.
We got to see that side of your face all night. So and he was combing that side of his beard. We told him you don't have to comb the other side. So All right, guys. Well, I think it was a good show. Anything did we miss that we covered a lot of history tonight. So
Somebody could remember and somebody couldn't.
I think we have 985 hearts. That's the most I've ever seen.
Wow.
And this is episode 28. So we've been doing this a while. Again, if you know people, a lot of people reach out to me even tonight as we were getting ready for the show. Within minutes of us going on, people were asking, how do we find this? Well, it's on Facebook. It's on the POA history group. So you have to be a member of the history group. Once you're a member, the show will pop up live. It'll just pop up. And if you want to go back and look at the older shows like Brian was tonight, you just see where it says Kent Rourke was live. And I'll have it titled also. It'll be titled. So you just go on there and it'll say live, and you'll see the little thing that's about to happen now, the intro, the song, and our little cover page there, and that's on the beginning and the end of every episode. So again, I want to thank Jan and Brian for coming all the way over, hour and a half. So that's a long way still, and
It's a
spending
long way
time.
to have to go back at 10:20.
Right, right. So, and they got to see the biggest fresh cut tree.
That's right.
And Enid has a 140-foot tree called the One. So, anyway.
And we bought rocks.
Bought rocks?
We bought rocks. What's
Okay.
the rock place down
Oh,
the
the
street?
rock shop right down
Yes.
from Monica. And you got Mary Helen, some goodies.
And we got Mary Helen.
From the Pastry Nook. She's an unofficial sponsor tonight because she made you a little box of goodies for the show. And me, I had a couple cheese. And sorry, Monica.
No wonder.
Yeah, I had, I was getting all these pictures wore me out. So putting all these
Famished.
pictures on. So I was famished. Yeah. So, and then I want to thank everybody that watched tonight and all the comments. Again, great viewers. And we're going to be off next week, but then on the 14th, we'll have the mayor episode about the multiple grand champion mayors. There's been 9 of them that have done that. And then we're going to have the stallion episode on the 21st. Again, it's called Black Hand and Beyond. So the Beyond part is like the 21st will be about the stallion roster for next year. People, if you want your stallion on there, just contact me and you can get a sponsorship, and we'll have a little commercial basically. So again, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this history. Thanks Jan and Brian, and see you everybody. Enjoy the song.